All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and get started at 7:30. And because, like I said, I know some people have had long days. The goal of this is to kind of get straight to the point. I know this isn't as personal as we prefer to make it, but we we felt this would be the best way to get information to everybody. If you're tuning in today, you'll have the opportunity in the chat space to throw out some questions. Heidi's going to record those. And we'll be able to get back to you if you have questions. But we're also going to be making this this info meeting available on our website later. So anybody that misses today and wonders how things are working this way for the church scholarship, they can just go to our website, and of course they can come to the church office to ask questions as well. I think you all know who I am. I'm going to obviously Pastor Vogel. I'm going to introduce a few others here today. We have Heidi Klump, who is our worship and membership coordinator. She's new to our church staff, just since January. We have Ingrid Lewis, who's our youth director. I'm just going the order I see them on the screen here. We have Jamie Spacek, who is the chairman of our board of deacons. And we also have Jeff Weber, who is the vice chairman of our deacons. And each of them are going to take a section of our presentation today. But just so you know, if you go on your screen and you go to the chat section, Heidi's actually going to keep track of who's attending today. So if you put your last name, just click under the chat and put your last name there, so we can kind of keep track of who actually was live. So we can try to do our best to connect with anybody that wasn't able to make it tonight. Also, if you have any questions as we go along, we're going to do our best to answer those. Everybody kind of in the area they're covering. I'll answer a few more questions at the very end, but I'm not going to be doing anything live here just because with a number of people, it gets a little chaotic. But if you put the questions in the chat bar, Heidi, like I said, will record that and we'll try to get back to you. If you wouldn't mind, let's open up with a word of prayer, and then we will get started. Heavenly Father, you've given us many, many gifts, and the gift of children is one of the greatest gifts. We love our kids, and our youth are the future, Lord. You even tell us in your word, Lord, to pass on our faith, to teach the coming generation of the wonderful deeds, amazing deeds of our Lord, of what you've done for us. You tell us that in Psalm 78. And Lord, we pray that through Bethany, our youth would continue to grow in their relationship with you. And Lord, that's really the heart of this meeting today. It's even more so than about money, and it's about continuing support Christian education and helping our children in their walk with you. Bless our presentation today, Lord, and I pray that through this and through future conversations, you continue to deepen our youth relationship with our congregation. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so Jamie Spacek, he's our deacon chairman. He's up first, and he's going to share a little bit. Sorry about that. Share a few things about the what and the why of the church scholarship. Jamie, I'm going to unmute you. Here you go. I'm going to mute myself. There you go.
All right. Sorry about that. Thank you, Pastor Ben. As mentioned, my name is Jamie Spacek. I am the chairman for the Board of Deacons, and along with Jeff Weber, who will be speaking here a little bit later today, who serves as our co-chair. Welcome the opportunity just to share a little bit here this evening. Thank you for joining us. So along with our role of supporting our pastors, we have the privilege and the responsibility, to care for the families here at Bethany. And as many of you know, all the deacons have been assigned families to oversee and to care for. Our hope and prayer is that each deacon would connect with their families to develop a relationship that will grow and to be a source of encouragement and support. Here at Bethany, we are blessed with many families with children attending or planning to attend Lutheran West, where they're hearing and learning more about Jesus each day We commend you for your commitment and sacrifices made to provide for the opportunity for your children to deepen in their walk and their relationship with the Lord. As a congregation, we support you in your decision. We're pleased to announce that we'll be continuing the financial support as we partner with Cleveland Lutheran High School Association. Bethany will continue to provide the financial aid of $1,400, which will be supplemented by $1,100 from the Cleveland Lutheran High School Association. So that will be a total of $2,500 for each student. So this is something that the congregation wants to do and to support. It's because of our love for the families and of our children here at Bethany. We have many faithful families who love the Lord and give of the treasures that the Lord has blessed them with. We are truly blessed to be able to provide financial aid to the Lutheran West families and our children here at Bethany. We have many, Pastor Ben and Jeff will talk about what it means to be students that are members in good standing. And then Ingrid will share about the opportunity for the students to be involved and to connect with the church through service. At Bethany, we're a congregation that loves the Lord, and we know the need we have in our Lord and Savior Jesus. We hope and pray that families will desire to gather, to hear God's word, and to share with our family of believers in his sacraments. As you know, your children have a wonderful opportunity to grow in their faith through Christian education. And we're thankful for the opportunity to support you financially and in prayer. We understand and know how we each face challenges in all our lives can get messy at times. If there are situations or circumstances that are keeping you or your children from worshiping on a regular basis, we want to encourage you to reach out and let us know. We welcome the opportunity to discuss and want to keep the lines of communication open with you. The Lord has blessed Bethany for many generations. You are a blessing, and we want to know that you are cared for. We value you, and we love each and every one of you. We would appreciate the opportunity to know you and your children better as we grow together as a family of believers. Thank you for your time.
One other point, just as Jamie he spoke on the why a little bit, and just for clarity for all of you as I get into, I have the next section here. The gift that Bethany offers is $1,400 per student, plus $1,100 that is supplemented by the CLHSA. That's a total for $2,500. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because the condition that the CLHSA puts out for receiving aid is being a member in good standing, and everything that I can show right back here, everything that Jamie just talked about, the values of Bethany. This is a gift. It's something the congregation wants to do, and I'm blessed to serve. I consider myself blessed to serve at a congregation that wants to be generous and wants to help our youth continue to walk with the Lord. And the other part is the desire to be connected with our youth and do a better job of that. And those are some of the conversations that we've been having surrounding this for quite some time, actually, because you asked the question, what does it mean to be a member in good standing? And one of the temptations when you're giving aid and like this is for it to kind of become a church, to become like a box that you check off. And I'm going to church to be able to go enough so that I fulfill the requirement, and we can sometimes lose sight of the why behind it all. And so this is something that deacons, we've really been, the pastors and deacons spend a lot of time talking about. The CLHSA, as I said, basically says that anybody who's considered a member in good standing can receive this aid. And so then it's left to the congregations to decide, okay, what is a member in good standing? And what's interesting is when you actually look at God's word, it doesn't give you a percentage, it doesn't give a percentage. It gives you, we have images of what the church looked like And I've had people repeatedly ask me questions like, I've had this question asked a lot, like, does the Bible actually say you have to go to church? Um, the reality is when you read the Bible from cover to cover, it's impossible it's very hard to come away with, I can have faith in God apart from other people, because there's always a connection between our relationship with God and our relationship with others. And to give you just a quick summary, this is probably the quickest picture that I can give you what it looks like to be an active member in a family of faith. In Acts 2:42, verses including, I'm sorry, whoops, here we go, verses 42 and then verse 44 through 45. Just to give you a quick reference, it says, and they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and the fellowship, to the breaking of bread and prayers. And right there, you have this image of gathering around God's word. That's the apostles' teaching, the fellowship, so being connected to one another. And the breaking of bread implies the Lord's Supper as well. So they were gathered around the word and sacraments, and they were in fellowship with one another. So the relationship with God drove their life together. It's a beautiful thing. And the second part that you see here below, it says, and all who believed were together and had all things in common. And they were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all as any had need. I view my job as a pastor, Pastor Sweeney as well. Both of us were thinking about how we could help our church leadership kind of work through this question, because at the end of the day, it's their decision, our board of deacons, to decide like what would be considered to be member in good standing. And so what we came away with in this last year was two things. Number one, valuing your relationship with God. So gathering with others around God's word and sacraments. So yeah, being in worship, but being actively in worship with other people. And then number two, valuing your relationship with your church family. So finding joy and fellowship with and service to the community. And such service would also often extend beyond the church. So it's not as simple as sitting in a pew. That's not what it means to be an active participant in the church, in the Bible. It actually involves a number of things. It involves having a relationship with God, being in the Word, but also putting that relationship with God and work in our relationships with others. And God's word also talks about the value of being around brothers and sisters in Christ and knowing each other. And so that's something that our board of deacons, I'm really proud of them. Like they want to work hard on getting to know our youth and getting to know our youth families. And Jeff Weber is going to take the next part. And he's going to share, he's our deacon vice chairman. And he's going to share what our deacons came away with, basically, in terms of what member in good standing is. And Jeff, if you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself, I'll mute myself as you take this.
Yes, can you hear me? Okay, so good evening, everyone. So I am, my name is Jeff Weber. I've been a member for over 25 years now. I taught helped teach 7th grade confirmation for about 10 years. I taught the new member class for 4 years, and I've been on the board of deacons now for 8 years. So as Pastor and Jamie said, the board of deacons is charged as spiritual leaders with coming up with our thoughts and how we want to pursue the member in good standing. So I'm going to go over some of the points that pertain to that. And Pastor references Acts, which he just read the first 2 chapters of 42 to 47. I'd actually like to read the last 2, just if I could. So 46 and 47 of Acts. And day by day, attending the temple together and breaking bread in their homes, they received their food with glad and generous hearts, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to their number day by day those who were being saved. And I just wanted to start with that because, you know, that's what we want to emphasize, that is the spirit that we're coming to you with these thoughts and requirements. It's in the spirit of love and encouragement and development. And, you know, everybody's on a different part of their spiritual journey. And, you know, you can't force things on people, especially the young people. I mean, I've got 3 20-somethings myself, so I know how it is. I mean, you know, they're all on a different path or different timeline, but This is what we've come up with anyway, as a board of deacons, that we want to strive for. And, there may be small changes from what you've seen before, but these are what we've prayerfully talked about and considered as a board. We want to have at least 50% worship attendance in church, and that's a year-round number. So that's including the summer months, and that's going to be checked at the registration table. So if you're coming in a different door, or if you're coming in late, you need to make sure your students need to make sure that they're being checked in and present for the services that they are attending. There are extra services available during Lent and Advent that would count as extra attendance. But other than that, it's the weekly services that are available either Saturday or Sunday. So the Wednesday service is not an extra service in general. It's the same service as the weekend. Ingrid's going to talk next about serving, but we're asking, as the second part of that is to serve during the school year, September through May. She's going to give you examples of that service. And again, these are our minimums. I mean, you're obviously encouraged and would love to see more than this if possible, but these are what we're asking for at a minimum, to be connected and serving your church family. The third part is to regularly connect with your deacon, and that is not meant to be vague, but I mean, the deacons are trying to be more connected with all of their families that they're assigned, and especially with families that have students, both West and non-West students. So we're trying to connect with all families and encourage all youth to attend and serve. And that can be, phone calls, texts, emails, or in person. I mean, and regularly is, not defined. As Pastor said, it doesn't give percentages in the Bible. How often do we commune? As often as often as we do it in the remembrance of Christ. We just want to. So, and if you're not comfortable with your youth communicating directly with a deacon, I mean, it could be the parents involved, but we want to just make sure that we're being in regular contact through any means of communication, just checking in and again, encouraging, developing our youth and their journey. And then the last point is just if there are any new member applicants, their initial eligibility will come from their previous church. If they're transferring, we would need information from them. But are we going to take questions now or at the end or just through the chat, or if anybody had specific questions on any of the good standing?
What I'm going to do, Jeff, is so I'll repeat what I said earlier. If you have questions, you can post anything in the chat, and Heidi's going to record those, and we can get back to you on those questions. And we can even send out a communication on that as well. We're gonna keep it at that for now. I do have some Q&As to cover at the very end, and I'll try and see if I can cover a few things that we've commonly heard in the church office. So thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Sure.
And that gets us to, if you wouldn't mind, Ingrid, our Director of Youth Ministry. If you want to unmute yourself, you can go ahead and it's your turn to talk about service. And by the way, I did this like squiggle thing on here. That's me. Yeah. I don't know how I did that. I'm afraid to try and undo it, so I'm just leaving it. Ingrid, you are up.
All right. So welcome everybody. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about service, and I'm going to start with why it's important. But first, I'm going to introduce myself just in case. I'm the Director of Christian Education, or at Bethany, where my job title is Director of Youth Ministry. I work with the children all the way from 3 years old up to high school graduates. So as far as the conversation about service, I'm going to start with why service is important, and looking at the families here, I know that you value service and you know how important serving together is. But first of all, serving together is a very important part of what makes us a family of God together. And as we read in Acts, service as part of the church has been a very important part since the very beginning of the church, as they sold all they had and gave everything that they could to all of those in need. And just in youth ministry, I just see the joy in the youth when they have opportunities to serve. And when they realize that they've helped others, the joy in their faces is worth it. And I want them to feel that as part of the Church of God together and part of Bethany. So I hope through the service opportunities that we give them at Bethany, it not only connects them as a family at Bethany, but it makes them realize how important they are as part of the family of God together in serving the people around us. So moving on, service opportunities. So if you look at the back side of the signature form, we have service opportunities during worship. So I have that. I've got children's Bible study. So the youth, if they are interested in serving during Sunday school, we have opportunities for them to be Sunday school teachers, namely as craft helpers or even craft leaders, depending on where they're at. Game activity leaders or Bible game activity leaders. They can also be helpful as almost like a crew leader during Sunday school, where they would move the youth from the craft station to the Bible story station, to the Bible activity station, and to the closing prayer. And so there's many opportunities we can get them involved in serving in children's Sunday school. We also have children's church. So during Sunday morning worship at 11 o'clock, we need multiple volunteers, especially on Sundays when there's a kindergarten through second grade bell choir and they all come downstairs to children's church. So we could always use youth to help out on Sunday mornings, just to keep an eye on the kids, to help. I have the youth read the Bible passage out of the NIRV that the children know and understand. And I have them read the prayers for us, as well as just taking kids back and forth, helping not lose anybody. We also have slide changers for worship. Soundboard is something we're working on training more people for. So if we have students that are gifted in that area and would like to be trained in that, that would be awesome. We're also looking into having families set up for the coffee hour. So Amy Bodman is leading that, and she will be contacting families that are interested in helping with setting that up and taking care of the donuts and the coffee and whatnot. We're also always in need of ushers. The ushers would help out on Sunday mornings with the ushers that are already scheduled. We have registration table needs as well, where they could help log people into the computer before services. And I think, let's see. Oh, and scripture readers, we don't really have a great need for readers because we have a large list of them. But if your youth really wants to read and they would love to serve in that way, if that's something that they're gifted in, let us know and we'll work them into the schedule. But they would need to pick another opportunity as well so that we could get them scheduled often. Let's see. And then we also have non-Sunday opportunities like Vacation Bible School. The Vacation Bible School can't be their number one service, and that's what they do, and they're done serving. It's great to have youth helping with Vacation Bible School and making that connection with those younger children so that they can get to know them and those younger kids can look up to them. But we really need the youth to be involved on a Sunday morning in worship and serving and being part of the family of God together in church. And then after you've looked at those forums and decided with your youth how they would serve or how they'd be interested in serving, you would bring the forums to Lutheran West on Monday, the 28th, when Pastor and I will be at Lutheran West. 8th grade families can bring them to confirmation class, and pastor will collect them there. And we'll catch anyone else who we don't see in one of those 2 opportunities. We'll catch everyone else one-on-one. And then Heidi Klump, our business manager in the church office, will do the scheduling. So I'm going to pass this off to Heidi.
And let's see. And one thing I want to quick share before Heidi takes over, just so you all know, the goal behind this is to know the kids and kind of know how they might want to serve. And that's one of the reasons why we're trying to personalize this as much as possible. So Ingrid and I will go out to, it should be February 28th, actually. I have the 2nd on there. That's my fault, typo. It should be Monday, February 28th. So please note that right there. That's my fault. We'll be going out to West, and we're going to be in a separate room. And the idea is just to meet with the kids and find out, share this with them, to them directly, and find out what they're interested in doing. And also then, like we said, for the 8th graders, connecting with them during confirmation class if we can, and anybody that doesn't connect to those ways, we'll try to connect with them outside of those classes and those meetings as well. All right, Heidi, where are you? There you are. You are up. I'm going to mute myself. Hold on, and let me introduce Heidi very quickly. I should do that. Heidi is our, she is new to our church office. She is our membership coordinator, and so she's doing a lot of the coordinating and organization of youth serving on Sundays. So she'll also be working with a lot of paperwork surrounding the Lutheran West tuition assistance details. So she's going to share about her role in all of this.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Okay, this hopefully will be the briefest part of this meeting. My primary role in all of this is to make sure you have your forms and that you have signed them and returned them back to the office so that I get to send all of the forms in directly to Lutheran West by the end of March 28th. We have to turn those in by. So the sooner you get your forms in, the better, because the pastors have to have time to review everything and then be able to get that back to Lutheran West. Let's see here. I will also be the one who's in charge of kind of monitoring attendance. I report attendance to the deacons for their monthly meetings. So if there's ever any question about attendance, you can contact me directly about that. We ask that you are absolutely diligent about registering when you attend church service, so that we know that you're there, that your registration has been taken care of, because we will be pulling, that's where we pull our attendance from. Let me think if there's anything else. Aside from that, I am the one who kind of handles scheduling everybody for Sunday services, for their volunteer opportunities for the Sunday services. So I will be like putting people into rotations and things like that. We'll kind of be talking about the scheduling more for the next school year, probably over the summer. So if you have any questions, if there's any issue with scheduling or anything, just go ahead and feel free to contact me. The best way is through my church email address, which I can put in chat, because the church office, we're only there Monday through Thursday through 12:30. But I get my email pretty much anytime. So I will go ahead and put it in the chat right now so everybody has it. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it for my part. I was hoping to keep my promise and keeping this brief. What do you think, Pastor? Did I hit all the bullet points? You're still muted. Nobody can hear you.
There we go. Can you hear me now? Good.
Yes.
All right. No, you did a great job. I was just going to say, just so you all can see it, the 2 forms that you have to turn in, that you'd be turning in, and Heidi's going to take care of here. The first one is, this is the parent signature form. This is on our end. Just this is we want the student's name and the parent sign it. I know if you've done this in the past, some of you have done this before, but we're asking you to do it again because some of the things changed per Jeff's comments earlier. So that's the first document. The second one is this one, the pastor signature form. And I'm going to share, I can share something since I'm a Lutheran West parent myself. I was re-enrolling my daughter, and there's a section there which asks you to turn in your church, your pastor signature form from your church. And I am not able to turn my document in yet, because what we're doing at Bethany is we're collecting all those documents with a deadline basically at the end of March to get those turned in. And then Pastor Sweeney and I will sign all of those together. And they will all be sent, Heidi will be sending all those in together to Lutheran West at the same time. And I already talked to Chris Steinman, who is head of the CLHSA, and they said that they're completely fine with you not turning in that pastor signature form in your re-enrollment packet now. So don't worry about it now. If you turn it into the church office, we'll get, when the pastors sign it, it'll get sent into the CLHSA and you'll be taken care of. And just one more note too, Pastor Sweeney and I, the terms that what we're using to determine whether we're going to sign these forms or not are what Jeff shared earlier. So if there's a student from a previous year that hasn't been around at all, we can't sign the form. It's not us choosing who gets to, whether we're going to sign them or not on a subjective basis. It's just looking at and seeing, do they fit the standards that we've set? So if there's any students that don't, we would definitely reach out to the families and explain why the form can't be signed. So that's just kind of giving you the whole paperwork thing. And to help Heidi out, you can find both of these forms right by the church office. You can see that on the left, and then there's the box. There you can see the deposit box next to the church door. Just sign your forms, fill them out, and put them in that box, and then we will take care of it from there. That would be a huge help. And also, if you want to get a hold of these forms, if you go to our website under Community Care Education Assistance, it'll take you to this next page where it says Education Assistance. And actually, this is the same page that this recording will be posted later. So anybody that missed this meeting will be able to go here and check out everything we talked about. But on this page also, you can see there's a copy, there are PDF copies of the Lutheran West Pastor Signature Form and also the Bethany Parent Signature Form. And I can tell you can also get that Lutheran West Pastor Signature Form from Lutheran West. So we're just trying to make it as easy for you as possible to get all these documents and to get everything taken care of. Because I know that I'm a high school parent myself. There's plenty of things, paperwork and things to work through. All right, and that just gets me to the end. I told you this, we were going to try and keep this as quick to the point as possible. A couple popular Q&As I think I should cover here. I'm just going to stop sharing and I'm going to go to the large group here. A couple things that I should just cover as we close, a few common questions that we've received. How will I know if my student is in danger of losing member in good standing status? Heidi is the one that keeps track of the attendance, and she is going to send out an email that to families if they are in danger to start with, and the deacons will also be in touch if you're in that category of in danger of losing your membership status. And just so you know that this is a year-round thing, at any point that can be removed. So just because you get the pastor signature form signed up front, if suddenly we disappear from church, that can happen. But we want to make sure that you're informed of it. And like you said, a lot of times there's circumstances we're unaware of. So it's just good to kind of have be connected and know what's going on in your lives before anything changes. I mentioned how the pastors decide if they will sign a pastor signature form. It's based off the standards that Jeff shared earlier, and we're just going to look at each student individually and say, hey, are they in church? And I'll tell you, 50% is not hard. And one reason it's really not hard too is if you go to midweek Lenten services, for example, or midweek Advent services, those count as double. Like we only count Sundays, so 50%. It's really, really, really not hard to get 50%. We made this super easy for families because we want to be able to serve our families and provide this aid. The other question we oftentimes get is, does this count the summer months? And the answer is yes. This is a year-round thing, because we don't biblically, member in good standing status is not based off the school year. So year-round, we're just going to keep tracking it. And if you have any questions, or if you're concerned, you can always call the church office and ask Heidi. She'll be keeping track of that actively. And that sheet that I showed you earlier, the parent signature form, it has all of the questions and answers I just provided on the backside, so you can read that. It also provides a few of the service opportunities that Ingrid shared. But as we said, we're going to do our best to connect with the kids individually to talk about that. All right, right about 8 o'clock. It's about 30 minutes. So that is everything, y'all. Thank you all for your support. I mean, just you being here tells me that you care that your kids are connected to the church, and you want them to continue growing their relationship with Jesus, and you value all those things. It's great to see that. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Have a great night. God's blessings. See you guys.